Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. We are finally back. It has been a week, if not more, I think, since our last posting or last stream or last anything on this channel. The move was chaotic to say the least, but here we are once again, folks, bringing you content and enjoying the flight simulation experience. Today we are going to be doing a first flight review of the A1C Husky. I've heard a lot of wonderful things about this little airplane. Decided, you know what, I got to check it out for myself, and figured I'd bring you guys along for the ride. So sit back, grab your cup of coffee, grab your Monster, whatever it may be, and let's go flying. If you are interested in learning how to fly the TBM 930 from Microsoft Flight Simulator, consider joining my Patreon site, level tier 2 or above, which gives you access to all of my guides, which include the A320, the G1000, and now the recently released Cessna Citation Longitude. These guides include everything from cockpit tours to full instructions on how to use all the systems, creating your flight plans, as well as the different types of approaches and takeoffs that are available to the different aircrafts. They are extremely detailed, full with pictures and identifying markers to make your flight sim experience with this aircraft as easy as possible. Again, link down to my Patreon site found in the description below. Alright, so real quick guys, I know the audio is still a little weird right now. Trust me, I'm going to get all that dialed out. We are still unpacking. Like I said, it's been quite the tornado trying to get this all squared away and up and running again. So just bear with me, video or two, and we'll be back at it. Taking a look at the A1C Husky here, however, it is a fantastically looking aircraft. Now, this is one of the liveries I had installed, and it looks a little too chromy for me, but I think that's just livery more than anything, because there are plenty of parts of this aircraft that look perfect. There are some goofy highlights in some weird places, like if you look down the tire lines and things like that. And again, you guys, you know that I do this just to be fair. I do this with every single aircraft that we review. You know, I nitpick it because that way you know I'm not paid to do it. I'm not blowing smoke out my back end. I'm just saying it as I see it. But all in all, it's a pretty cool little airplane. Look at the texturing done on the tires down here. I mean, that is just perfection right there. Really enjoy that kind of detail. The linkages coming down here to each side of the tail wheel. You can see the chain linkage to pull the tail wheel one direction or the other. That's some pretty good detail, guys. The cabling to control the aircraft control surfaces. I mean, that's pretty awesome. That's definitely detail that is nice and could have been skipped. I mean, we've seen it before where those simple details are missing. Look at all the rivets. Looks like every single rivet was modeled. It's just crazy. Gosh, what a ton of work. What a ton of work. Hats off to y'all. That is brutal. Love this. The linkages, the control arms here. Very freaking cool. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into the seat. Okay, now just a heads up, guys. I do not have my head tracker set up just yet. We will have it ready for the next video. So there'll be a lot of mouse and weird movement like this, but it'll be okay. I do pretty good with it. Okay, so now let's look at our gauges. I mean, everything looks very, very nice. I love the detail here. I think the back paneling makes it look a little weird. I think it's just the color, though. I really do. I think if I had picked if there was any other different cockpit color difference, I don't think that I'd notice it. But it's like a weird, I don't want to say a pop. I mean, it is, but I don't know. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Hopefully, you guys know what I'm talking about here. Let's see. We got throttle, prop, and mixture down here. We have our airspeed indicator up here. Not sure what that is yet. Let's see here. What's this? So we have our comms radio. This is going to be our transponder. Alternative air source. Master battery. I want to say alternate floodlights, but I'm not sure. Avionics, nav lights, strobe lights, recog lights, landing lights, taxi light down there at the bottom. Guessing GPS. Altimeter. Let's go ahead and set our altimeter pressure here. Oh, that's quite the change, isn't it? No smoking, guys. No smoking. Keep it out of the aircraft. Let's see here. Carb heat. That's good. Magnetos. Boost pumps way down there. What a weird spot. Let's see what we got down here. What is that? Zook. Release. Wonder what that is. Just pull the chair out? Oops. Oops. Wrong button. What do we got over here? It looks like we got a flap handle. It's gotta be what that is. Ah! If I'd picked the camera up just a little bit more. Ah, crap. I hate it when that happens. Do you know what that is? Oh, man. And it looks like you can fly from the back seat, too. Okay, the camera's doing something wiggy. I think I made it mad. Let's go back up here. But it looks like you have the ability to fly from the back seat. That looks like a fuel valve. What's this guy down here? Elevator trim. Trim indicator. Nice. All right. Mike and Jack. Ah, look. Got a little wolf back there. The husky. Our husky. Door handle? Some of these angles are really weird for me. Bear with me. Door latch. Modeled. Doesn't look like it. Alright, well, let's get the aircraft started up. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Got a pretty good idea of where things are here. Let's reset that camera view, because I have it all over the place now. There we go. And let's get her started. Alright, so let's see about getting this lovely lady started. So first thing we're going to do, let's check out the in-game checklist. We're going to walk through it and see how it goes. It's nice that one is here. Got quite a few items under each section. That looks pretty legit, so let's just see how it goes. Alright, so we have flight controls, free and clear. I've got an odd behavior, but I don't think it's... We'll have to see what happens when we go to fly. I'm not convinced it's actually a problem with this, but we'll see. Fuel selector. Now, it says main, but that's going to be this guy down here. You have on and off. Down is on, up is off. So, just remember that. All electric equipment is off. We have made sure of that. Magnetos are off. Yep. Golden. Okay. Brakes fully applied. Yes, sir. We are on the brakes. Starting engine. Mixture rich. Mixture is rich, sir. Prop max RPM. Prop is set to the max RPM. Alternate air source is closed. Push air or pushed in to close. Push open to for on. So we want in. All right, avionics. That's a good one. So first, master on. Avionics switch comes to on. Ooh, we got a Garmin. All right. Radios are on. Check. Caution, low fuel pressure. Yes, sir. We are aware. We're going to take care of that shortly. Transponder should be on. I'm going to set that. And we are at 1200 and we want altitude reporting according to our checklist here, which we are in a small little airport, so I guess that works. Normally we wouldn't do that till we hit the runway, but that's fine. We're just walking our way down here, okay? Throttle, 1/4 inch open. We got that. Prop area is clear. I mean, they always stand there. Jesus here he's not going to move. He just likes to watch. I warn him that's not a great spot. God forbid something happens to the prop, but he doesn't listen to me. So we're just going to do it. Electric fuel pump on until fuel flow peaks. So let's see here. What do we got? And there's our fuel flow. All right, fuel flow has peaked. Turn it back off. And we are set. Mixture, we want to lean it out. So I'm just going to leave it cracked there. And then start.
Caution, low fuel pressure.
Seems pretty simple there. The sound is great. changes as you move around the aircraft. I like it. Very cool. All right. So we've got our mixture lane. The ignition started. Mixture rich when engine starts. Boom! We are rich. Oil pressure check. Where's our oil pressure? Right here. Okay. Pressure looks like 5.8. Temperature 29 degrees, 30 degrees Celsius, I'm guessing. Alternator is on. That's got to be what that is. I'm wondering what the FLD is, though. That's really interesting. I don't know what the FLD stands for. I thought it was like alternate floodlights, but that can't be right. It even sounds stupid saying that. Brakes released. Oh, whoa. No, okay. All right. Well, the brakes work. We know that part. We're not ready for that. So let's go to... All right. So next segment is before takeoff. And we'll come back to that in just a second. So the things that I would add here, I guess, based on that checklist, that really wasn't too bad for as far as checklist goes. I probably would have obviously done master on, avionics switch can come on, recog lights before the engine start. Obviously we need to turn our taxi light on before we start taxiing. Alternators on after engine start. I've seen both, which is weird. I've seen some checklists where it needs to come on beforehand, some where it comes on after. I've seen some checklists, real world documentation, where certain aircraft, if the alternators are not on before the engine starts, you can actually damage the aircraft. So it's really interesting how each aircraft performs when it comes to those alternators. But anyway, so that's probably what I would have done differently. The recog lights, I do believe, should have been on before we started the engine. That's sort of the whole point of the beacon light or recog lights, is to let people know, hey, caution when approaching this aircraft, it's getting ready to do something. Right? So I think I would have changed that. But let's see. It looks like we're using G3000, G1000 here. G3000 looks like, actually. Or touchscreen version of the 1000. It's very interesting. I like it. We'll have to play around with this a little bit easier or a little bit later. 3D vision. I like this. This is kind of nice. Gives you almost like that HUD you get with all the other aircraft. Or not HUD. Repeater. You guys know what I'm talking about. You'll figure it out. The digital repeater, excuse me. But everything matches out just as we would expect. I really do like this 140 feet. Wow. We were like almost right at the water, which makes sense because we're in Washington here, so we're near Seattle, not quite there. But I figured we'd check it out. Well, let's get this aircraft rolling. Oops, let my foot off the brake. Now this is a very tiny little airport. There's our windsock over there. I think we'll taxi out that way. Ooh, that tail wheel. She turns, guys. She definitely turns. I know we have a van coming at us, but if you spend your life in Microsoft Flight Simulator trying to dodge all the ground vehicles, you'll never make it to the runway. And there you go. So it looks like we have a crosswind today, so we're going to take off from down over here. Now normally we would want to do some S-turns to be able to see down. But since I don't have my head tracker, it makes it a little difficult to lean over like I normally do. So some of these turns can be a little extreme for me at the moment. That's how you actually see around the nose in a tail dragger. Either stick your head out the window or make your S turns. I'm just about there now. And forgive the congestion, guys. I don't know if I'm getting a cold or just the new house or what. But definitely getting me today. Oh, baby. Oh, that's what I was worried about doing. You don't want to hit that brake too hard. Put that nose right into the ground. All right, let's turn the strobe lights on. Landing lights come on now. And let's take her up. do flaps. Flaps 1. I truly doubt this aircraft. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll check the checklist. Let's check the checklist. I got into a bad habit of not using these. I really did. Okay, so what do we have? We have magnetos, 150 RPM max decrease. I know what's got to. This is for the run up. Let's just skip over to the normal takeoff. Flaps 0. All right, there's our answer there. So no flaps on takeoff. Throttle to full. Control stick quarter up from neutral. That's kind of a weird way to word that. Brakes released. Oh, that's to keep the tail wheel down. Brakes released. Rotation at 48 knots. Indicated climb at 64 knots. All right. We'll see how that goes. And do it by the book today. Well, the book that we are provided with, I should say. I can't imagine it's all that much different, really. Ooh, turn. She's got more turn than I gave her credit for, really. All right, so we're gonna try this. This is where that synthetic camera comes into play. All right, so we're pulling back just a little bit on the stick, and the purpose of that is to keep the tail wheel down until you reach your rotation speed. Max power, off the brakes. Airspeed alive instantly. Whoa, let's pull that power back a little bit. Yeah, see, I don't like that. So that was almost 70 knots at rotation with 0 flaps, pulling the stick back a quarter. So I don't think I would do that again, at least for the simulator purposes. I don't think that I would pull back on the stick again. And I don't think I would go max power. Instantly we got engine overspeed. So watch that engine torque. I'm going to start leaning out to altitude. So basically what I do is I pull the mixture back until our RPM starts to drop. You can see our RPMs there in the right underneath the altimeter, sitting right about 2,700. Then once we do that, now I'm going to pull my prop back. And let's kick that back to about 2,300. It's for a nice chillaxing cruise. So we can sort of peek around here. And we are now cruising around the A1C Husky. The flight model seems fun. It's even for a simulator. It's very light in the controls. Like you can feel like, you know, a good gust will just wrap this plane tight up in a knot. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it exciting for the. I mean, that's exactly what you're looking for. A nice, fun, short field, easy plane to roll with, and she is. You know what I'd love though, guys, is a crop duster, a genuine crop duster in the simulator. You know, like where you can actually dump the whether it be pesticides or fertilizer or whatever it may be. I think that would be so much fun. Or like a fire bomber. Okay, I would love to do even if somebody made a simulator specific to firebombing. I think that would be so cool. You know, it's got to be intense for those aircraft. You know, having your lead plane and then, you know, flying an old goose or something like that. It wouldn't be a goose, but like a PBY or something with the fire retardant in it. That'd be so cool. I think that'd be fun, especially if they modeled what that heat. I mean, flying near that kind of heat has got to be just crazy on the aircraft. It's got to beat the hell out of it. Anyway, this aircraft is this would be perfect for a crop duster. Is what got me going on that. I mean, I just picture. Here we go. You know, as I dump literally across the field rather than going in any kind of normal pattern like a normal human would. But, you know. Uh-oh. There we go. Here's our airplane from the outside here. It's a pretty little area to fly around, isn't it? Yeah, I like it. It's a very cool little plane. Very cool little plane. And it's cheap. I think it was 15 bucks. No, 24 bucks. Might have been 24 bucks on the marketplace. It's definitely a cheap little plane. And it has you've got the skid version, so landing on snow or ice, and it's got a water landing version. Why can I not think it? The floats. So you got a couple different variations of the aircraft that come with it, which is definitely very awesome. Very versatile little plane. If you listen, you can hear the sounds of the controls. Remember, as we were looking outside, I think it's all cable controlled. It's responsive as heck. I mean, that's fast. Ooh. You can get myself in trouble here if I keep doing crap like that. Very, very nice. Let's go ahead and try landing it. See what that's all about. Alright, so we should have our airport there off to the left. No autopilot. At least none that's built into it, so I'm not even triggering the controls. I don't know if they'll work or not, but there's our airfield. We need to come around the back way. And she's actually a fast little plane. I just realized that. Cruising for this little birdie at just shy of 100 knots. That's pretty cool. And I'll bet we could get more out of her if you could add some more pitch. I bet we go 2,500 comfortably. And she'll get rolling. But according to our checklist here, we need max mixture, we need max prop, and we're going to be looking for 70 knots on the approach, which that's almost what we took off at, so I guess that makes way more sense than the 48 knots rotation. Now, I may have done the rotation wrong. I don't know a lot about tail draggers. I can tell you right now that I'm thoroughly enjoying flying this aircraft, so we are very high. Speed falls off her real quick. So we're going to go flaps 10. Flaps coming down. And she immediately wants to nose up. There's flaps 20. You can see that speed just fall off the aircraft. A little turbulent today. Not looking at a terrible approach. Looking pretty good so far. Let's go ahead and sort of straighten out here for a minute. Right about 70 knots. Just under 1,000 feet. Let's add some power back in. The trim is very responsive as well, by the way, guys. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. Lights are all still good. Okay. Don't start turning on me yet, little lady. Not yet. You know, the nice thing about so many of these planes is if you catch it right, you can fly it with the rudders. Gives you a chance to take your hand off the flight stick. As long as you manage that airspeed, you can fly it with the rudders. Look at this. We're going to use only the rudders here. I haven't done this in a long time. It used to be part of my review process was how does the aircraft fly with just the rudders. So we're using right rudder now to compensate. We're a little off. Uh-oh. Right rudder, right rudder, right rudder. You guys can see it. It does work. If you guys take the time to do it. Let's go full flaps now. It's flaps 30. We're going to pull some power off. But that turn was kind of fun with just the rudders. I highly recommend you guys try that. Try flying with just your rudder pedals. If you trim the aircraft out just right, get your speed in right, you can do anything you want, just your rudders. With the little aircraft. I don't know about the big ones. I don't know that I would do that with the big ones. So we're approach speed Pretty hot. It's a failure on my part. Story of my life. Well, there's 70 knots. A little bit of a space shuttle approach, but we're smoothing out a little bit. We're about a 4 degree. Ooh, okay. Okay. Oh. The thing about the throttle that's really weird. Come on, baby. Gotta come right. Gotta come right. Gotta come right. Hold on. I'll tell you guys in a second. Ooh, they said let the tail down easy. I don't even know if she's down yet. There it goes. There's the tail coming down. Whoa. Okay, so let's talk about that landing for a second. So what I was going to say is the weird thing about the throttle with this aircraft, and I think it has to do more ground effects, so that's probably a pretty accurate portrayal of what would have happened in the real aircraft. I mean, again, this is all speculation. I've never flown a tail dragger, or been in a tail dragger for that matter, so just keep that in mind, please. But what was weird on the landing in those final moments there was just the slightest bit of power that I added in, and the aircraft was ready to go airborne again. And I think it's because like we were right in that threshold of ground effect versus not, right? Like I was just starting to sink into that pillow and get through the ground effect, and then I'd add that little bit of power that it needed to keep flying, and off she would go, right? So that is something to consider when you're landing it. But it was a ton of fun. Like that was so much better than I think any of the other tail draggers we have flown on this channel yet. Definitely not near as complex as I was expecting. Now, I almost felt like it was too easy, but I don't know. Again, I've never flown one in real world, so I don't know how much of that is legit. For example, I have seen a lot of comments from people stating they have flown the real Corsair and saying that the Corsair for Microsoft Flight Simulator is way too difficult. Like it's in real world, it should not be as hard as it is to land that aircraft or to take off. Takeoff on this aircraft, easy peasy. Was just you guys saw it. It was a joy. There wasn't much to it. I don't know about the 48 knots indicated airspeed for rotation. I mean, that's basically when airspeed comes alive. It would make sense based on how tiny it is, but based on the instruction to pull the stick back, I don't think that would work, because I think what we were doing is we were keeping the tail wheel down too long. So I'm sure there's truth to keeping that stick pulled back, but I think that the timing in which they were telling us to do it was incorrect. Come on, baby, turn for me. You do like a donut in this thing. But let's see here. All in all, guys, I highly recommend this aircraft, especially if you want to do little bush trips, or like we were just doing some crop dusting or something. It's a fun plane. I really enjoy this. I'm really glad I picked it up. I'm looking forward to getting some more stick time with it. The fact that it has a flight stick, always fun, right? Always adds a little bit. Now, like I said, as far as I can tell, I don't think this thing has a parking brake. I have not been able. I like that trim indicator. I really like the trim indicator. Let's go ahead and just kill the mixture.
Caution, low fuel pressure.
And turn the magnetos down. Let's set our prop back. And let's see here. What do we got? Recog lights can come off. Nav lights off. Avionics. Damn you, Microsoft. Stop it. That and battery. Cool. So very simple aircraft. Not much to it, and I think that's what makes it so much fun. Is you really don't have to dial in a whole lot. It's just one of those planes you jump in, get up, enjoy a nice cruise up around a specific area. You know, I think this is going to be. Oh, I know why. There we go. I think this would be a great plane to throw your bush trips down on. Like I said, go fly around Alaska, go fly around the Caribbean islands. Use the floats. I know Jeff Favignano did a trip out to Bora Bora with it, and it looked like he had an absolute ball with it. I've just heard wonderful things, had to give it a shot, and I have to agree with everything that I've heard. This is a fun, cute little plane that I think is going to be a lot of fun to fly in those little rural areas that you just sort of want to go tooling around in. Let me know what you guys think of the A1C Husky, guys, down below. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe. We are back in business, folks. Stay tuned, because there's going to be a lot more content coming your way.